The borough of Lavallette, due to the virus, is forced to comply with the laws of our state and agrees everyone should be safe because life is precious. We understand that through the years, so many gave up their time and their lives to keep us safe and free. So our decision was to honor them in a different way. Please join as Councilman Dave Fincher leads us in the flag salute and our national anthem.
Thank you very much. As you say the salute, please remember the men and women that made the ultimate sacrifice to give us our freedoms that we have today. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Once known as Decoration Day, Memorial Day has been a national day of remembrance since shortly after the Civil War. In Lincoln's immortal words at Gettysburg, it is altogether fitting and proper that we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. The observance was moved to the last Monday in May in the early 1970s to give everybody a long weekend, but nobody should forget the real reason for the holiday, to reflect on the sacrifice of those who gave their lives and continue to. Here at the Jersey Shore, the Memorial Day marks the beginning of the summer season, a flurry of barbecues, beachtime fun, and relaxation, which we all enjoy, especially this year. Yet we must remember the solemn side of the holiday and pause to honor their memory. Your observance of this ceremony is testimony that those brave Americans will never be forgotten. Over the years, Lavallette has celebrated Memorial Day with a special ceremony. Residents and our borough workers joined together to prepare a wonderful service to honor our country's veterans and share with all of you as we raise our voices, our thoughts, and our prayers together. Once again, on Memorial Day 2020, I pause to thank all who helped to make this special ceremony possible. I have to commend our public works employees for their talents and extra effort getting our wonderful memorial field ready for Memorial Day. Our deputy clerk, Don Amico, our CFO, Chris Fairfield, and our program designer, Matt Burke, for helping to organize this ceremony. And thanks also go to our borough administrator, Robert Bryce. We look forward to working with him as we continue to move our borough forward. I thank our entire community, friends, and guests joining us today to give thanks to our veterans, those that by the grace of God returned home to spend their remaining days enjoying the freedoms that they fought for. Our mayor, Wanda Cicero, is anxious to welcome you to our ceremony and share his feelings. Mayor.
Thank you, Anita. Welcome everyone to Lavallette's first video-only Memorial Day service. Governor's directives prevent us from conducting our traditional live service, but nonetheless, it is important that we remember this day and the many military personnel who made the ultimate sacrifice to preserve and defend our freedom. I have viewed and participated in many of these services, both as an elected official and as a young person growing up right here in the borough of Lavallette. At every one of them, and at every service held across this country, the word freedom is frequently heard and used as a rationale for war and the reason that our fellow Americans were willing to sacrifice their lives. Yet over time, and with no real loss of freedom by most Americans, the word has lost much of its impact. Ironically, with the advent of the coronavirus and subsequent lockdown, all Americans are now experiencing a real loss of freedom. The freedom to visit our families, the freedom to attend a sporting event or a concert, the freedom to walk on our beach, the freedom to engage in any of the activities that a free society allows. And with this loss of freedom, is clearly having an effect on the American people. It's my sincere hope that with this loss of freedom will be a new and greater appreciation of both the word and the concept of true freedom. And perhaps with this new appreciation, we'll have a better and more profound understanding and appreciation of the sacrifices made by our military heroes. We are here today to honor those men and women who are willing to serve and die to protect not only our country, but most of the free world. Their sacrifice should never be forgotten.
Please observe this beautiful charcoal drawing done by one of our students years ago. He was in high school, asked to create something, and he created a fallen soldier. Adam Hauser created this beautiful charcoal drawing for us. Now I'd like to also invite Councilwoman Joanne Philpott to come up and share a beautiful poem for us.
Freedom Isn't Free by Kelly Strong. I watched the flag pass by one day. It fluttered in the breeze. A young Marine saluted it, and then he stood at ease. I looked at him in uniform, so young, so tall, so proud. With hair cut square and eyes alert, he'd stand out in any crowd. I thought how many men like him had fallen through the years, how many died on foreign soil, how many mothers' tears, how many pilots' planes shot down, how many died at sea, how many foxholes were soldiers' graves. No, freedom isn't free. I heard the sound of taps one night when everything was still. I listened to the buglers play and felt a sudden chill. I wondered just how many times that taps had meant amen, when a flag had draped a coffin of a brother or a friend. I thought of all the children, of the mothers and the wives, of fathers, sons, and husbands with interrupted lives. I thought about a graveyard at the bottom of the sea, of unmarked graves in Arlington. No, freedom isn't free.
Councilman Bob Lamb suggested an idea which we followed, and we are proud to present. Our speaker, Frank Corvelli, will be sharing this project and letting all know how proud we are to share this with you and their families. Frank also will speak of another wonderful addition to our monument and our memory. Councilman Jim Borowski will now introduce our speaker, our neighbor and speaker.
Thank you, Anita. Good afternoon or good morning, as the time may be when you're watching this. At 19 years old, Major Frank Corvelli joined the United States Marine Corps. He completed Officer Candidate School in Quantico, Virginia. After graduating from Washington College, was commissioned as a second lieutenant of Marines. He went on to attend law school at the City University of New York. After receiving his Juris Doctor, Frank began active duty at the Officer Basic Leadership School in Quantico. When he completed his training at the Naval Justice School in Newport, Rhode Island, he was assigned to serve as a judge advocate with the Legal Services Support Group in Camp Pendleton, California. During his service in Camp Pendleton, Frank was selected as the lead military defense counsel in a nationally publicized wrongful death case that has since shaped the United States domestic policy on the use of military personnel on our borders for drug interdiction and illegal immigrations. He was appointed to criminally defend Corporal Clemente Banuelos, United States Marine Corps, who shot and killed an 18-year-old United States high school student near Redford, Texas, during a joint task force mission in support of the U.S. Border Patrol. The incident attracted worldwide media attention as the state of Texas moved unsuccessfully on 2 separate occasions to indict Corporal Manuelos for murder and other related offenses. After leaving active duty, Frank remained in the Marine Corps Reserve as an appellate criminal defense counsel in Washington, D.C. His personal decorations include the National Defense Service Medal with Bronze Star, the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, and the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal. Frank is a New Jersey Supreme Court certified trial attorney and currently practices law in New Jersey, primarily representing over 65 law enforcement labor unions in various capacities. He's proud to call Lavallette home, where he lives with his wife Anna of 24 years and his 3 children. Frank has graciously agreed to speak with us today and share with us his thoughts. I'm honored and privileged to introduce to you our guest speaker, Lavallette's own Frank Crivelli.
Jim, thank you for the kind words. Good morning, or I shouldn't say good afternoon, everyone, depending upon what time you're listening to this particular program. Mayor Cicero, Council President Salon, distinguished members of the Lavallette Council, and my friends and neighbors who share in my good fortune to call Lavallette our hometown, or for many of you, your second hometown. I'm deeply humbled to have been called upon by the Lavallette governing body to deliver this year's Memorial Day address. Throughout my life, I've been privileged to have attended many Memorial Day commemorations, some large and some small. With that in mind, no service compares with the tribute that our small town pays to our country's fallen heroes. When Council President Zalon asked me to speak several months ago, I was again honored to receive the invitation to address my friends and neighbors. Having served in the Marine Corps for over 15 years, and having friends and classmates from the service that have been wounded and killed in battle, Memorial Day evokes very strong emotions in my heart. In the past, I've struggled to find suitable words and a suitable subject to honor our fallen heroes. This year, so I thought, it would have been easy. Our town made the decision to honor 6 of our fallen heroes with the placement of street signs bearing their names on each street where they resided prior to them paying the ultimate sacrifice for their country. First Lieutenant Martin Gavio, Korea. Private Adolf Kerman, World War I. Ensign Isaac John Osborne, World War II. Sergeant Harry S. Bloom, World War II. PFC Donald Skinner, Vietnam. And Major George Poland, Vietnam. After I learned that my remarks were to be brief and that we were videotaping as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, a few short minutes would not be enough to pay proper homage to our hometown heroes. These remarks will wait for a day and time when the proper honorary words can be bestowed upon these 6 men. In addition to these 6 men, this year our town also made the decision to honor Corporal Leonard Gao. Corporal Gao, who served in the United States Army, her name is being placed upon our War Memorial Monument. Corporal Gao was once a full-time resident of our borough and the first female to be added to our memorial. She served our country as a volunteer during World War I and as an Army Air Force nurse during World War II. I read a post on social media yesterday that Corporal Gao told a white lie regarding her age. To volunteer during World War I, she was too young. However, it gets even better than that. When World War II rolled through, she again embellished her age. However, this time, her age was embellished because she was too old to serve. Corporal Gal is a true patriot, clearly a member of our greatest generation and undoubtedly a great American. Two of Corporal Gal's granddaughters, along with two great-granddaughters and their 5 children, now reside in our small borough. Corporal Gal is a credit to our nation, and again, an individual that we need more time to properly honor for the service that she provided to our great nation. Memorial Day is a day when we traditionally honor our nation's fallen heroes. We honor those men and women who either volunteered or answered the call of their fellow citizens to protect our nation through their service in the armed forces. The last few months in our country's history have been unprecedented. Our president has told our nation's citizens that we are at war. War not with conventional enemies like those that we faced in World War I and World War II, nor unconventional enemies like the guerrilla forces that we faced in Korea and Vietnam. And finally, not like the cowardly enemies that we refer to as terrorists, who strike at our nation's citizens at times when we are unarmed and unprepared to defend ourselves. Instead, we are at war with what has been referred to as the faceless enemy, a biological virus that's run rampant through our streets, taking over 90,000 Americans, 11,000 of them approximately at this point, being from our state of New Jersey. Terroristic and biological enemies have now resulted in death of more Americans than we've lost in Vietnam, Korea, and both the Gulf Wars combined. I make mention of these facts for no other reason than to bring attention to the point that we are now living in the United States of America that is changing and evolving ever so quickly. And as I stated previously, traditionally on Memorial Day, we honor our military service members that have fallen when answering our nation's call. However, in addition, and most recently, we have also lost many of what I call our citizen soldiers in our quest for freedom and the protection of our way of life. I'm of firm opinion that these individuals also bear mentioning today, and so too should they be recognized this Memorial Day. So, you may be asking the question, who are these citizen soldiers? There are fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, family members, friends, and neighbors who walk amongst us. They are those Americans who have made the choice to stand on the wall, day in and day out, serving our nation and local communities as law enforcement officers, always keeping everlasting, vigilant watch for the next unconventional enemy that seeks to strike and ravage our nation. And yes, when that strike does come, as it often does, we look to their counterparts, the firemen, EMS technicians, and healthcare workers to render first aid and life-saving measures like the Navy corpsmen and Army medics do upon the battlefield. Over the last several months, our Commander-in-Chief has ordered us to be confined to quarters and quarantined for our own protection from the faceless enemy, also to ensure our own health and safety. And yes, this too has included the service members of the United States Armed Forces. However, these citizen soldiers that we talk about, they've been deemed essential by our government, and they've answered our nation's call as they always do, thrusting themselves without regard to their own health and safety into unknown circumstances to keep the peace, into our nation's prisons to stand heedful watch knowing that they are infested with the deadly virus, and into our nation's hospitals to care for the infirm, the infected, with a highly communicable disease that is so easily transferred from one to another and without any cure that can result in death. So yes, I do believe that this Memorial Day is different than all of the others that I've experienced as an American. Yes, it's a day of reflection, a day to remember those members of our armed forces that perished protecting our freedom and our way of life. But being ordered to lead a severely restricted way of life over the last several months, I'm now taking time today to reflect upon where we are as a nation and what it actually means to answer our nation's call. So today, Memorial Day, in addition to remembering the souls that we lost protecting our freedom while serving in the armed forces, let's remember the souls that we have lost who have also served as our citizen soldiers on our own sacred soil, protecting American citizens from the terroristic and biological enemies that are attacking our country and crossing our borders. And while we remember those who have left us today, I believe that today, given our nation's current state of affairs, it's also acceptable and encouraged to express gratitude to our fellow citizens that walk among us. Those citizens who protect us from those that seek to strike fear, death, and destruction through acts of terrorism, and those that brave illness and disease to heal the sick, protect our lives, and keep our nation moving through these most difficult times. Thank you very much.
Hard to follow those beautiful words. Thank you very, very much for making this such a wonderful ceremony for everyone to enjoy. Loud. At this moment, I think it's time that we observe, all of us, a moment of silence. Please. Our ceremony has ended. Thank you for watching. And we will end with text. Be safe and well.
Thank you, Anita.